I guess it's a good sign to say that when there's the only thing you can say about an event is that it's an event. You're doing well, buddies. Either way, welcome back, everybody. Today, we actually have ourselves a nice, lovely cross-site update here, 13.70 Brawl Festival. Now, it's essentially just going to be the Connect Riders event, although now it's been changed to the Ravens event. Why that's the change, I have no idea, because they're completely cosmetically the same. But whatever, I digress. But essentially, the big thing that comes with this mode is, of course, the Brawl Festival, which is actually not really one mode, it's a series of modes, in which you get a variety of modes coming in and out throughout the couple of next days. So we get things like Wheels of Fortune, Big Races, Annihilation, Rockets, Kaiju, Drone Racing, Rippers. So essentially, it's a mode where you play with a vehicle that has the one weapon or one niche on it, and then it circles out every basically 2 days. So, for example, Storm Warning, the niche with that is that it's the old Storm Warning mode in which you play basically as a free-for-all deathmatch, but there's an enclosing space coming in, so it's kind of like a Battle Royale, except you don't do anything other than just fight. Or the Tau one, coming over here July 2nd, well, you can imagine that's just going to be with a Tau launcher, in which you sit at base and shoot a rocket very far down the map, and see which team wins first, or if it's going to be free-for-all, or some, like, combination of that. But you get the idea, kind of jazzy like that. There also seems to be 2 extra challenges here that you can do, coming from the Lord of the Storm and the One-Man Army challenges. The One-Man Army being able to be completed in the Sapper, Tau, Mosquitoes, and Kaiju battle, while the Storm Lord one, or Lord of the Storms, can be done in, well, Storm Warning. So yeah, if you guys were looking for that, I guess, here you go, congratulations. Beyond that, they also have special daily challenges for finishing these brawls, and finishing just the game, not having to get any sort of, like, placement, you actually end up getting rewards, mostly Taulers and a little bit of Engineer's badges. In fact, if you transition over into the game, you can see the challenges over here in the top corner, and for the most part, you can see it's just straight up Taulers again, which is, well, it's alright, it's cool. But the fact that it only gives you 20 Taulers is kind of funny because a lot of the parts you need in here need quite a bit of Taulers to utilize. I mean, this one requires 3,000 alone. These require 60 apiece, if not more. So you still need to do a lot of grinding to get up there to your favorite part, especially if you want to get this, which gives you a, I believe it's a free epic module cabin of some choice. So kind of nice, but at the same time, grinding out $3,000. Whew, we're doing a lot of grinding just to get that. And the thing is, too, to get Taulers, you gotta play a mode that exclusively gives you Taulers, too. So in order to get a free epic part, you have to grind out Taulers, which inhibits your ability to grind out scrap. So, congratulations, you end up losing potentially more money than you gain? It's a weird combination when it comes to that, but that's just that one little item you can craft there. Beyond that, we also have the Raven Pavilion there, which you just kind of saw there for a hot second. But essentially, it's a nice little crafting section in which you can go there, create some magical item, either like an item unique to this event, like the list that they have here, or you can actually go ahead and make yourself a customized, I guess, fusion-esque thing, where instead of having you to fuse to get, 3 random traits, you can now use this and you get essentially a cheaper version of a fusion, but that's guaranteed to have whatever stats that's listed here. So, for example, if you want to do this Bigfoot steering to get the durability and power penalty reduced, you can do this one instead. It only costs you 2 wheels, which is still probably the average, I imagine, because, no. Because the thing is that you need 1 wheel and then 2 sacrificing wheels, and then you get this. So, about roughly the same price. But, the fact is, you still get enhanced fusion benefits here. But beyond that, there's also not only just these fusion items for very, very expensive items here, like, I'm not really sure who's going to be utilizing Breakers and Scorpions, but cool. But like I said, they also have the guest present here, which is a very expensive item, which I'm not quite sure how people are going to be utilizing this, but, go ahead, cool, go ahead and do that. Beyond that, we got the Contact and Rift 2 meters, which is great for making fusion builds, although oddly enough, those really haven't become too common nowadays. A couple of gun wheels, which look fancy. A little Emily, Leech, Median, Spike, Corvo, the Power Unit, Arathorn, Argus, and Toadfish. Beyond those weapons and modules, you also have a little bit of cosmetics here. The Bludgeon, a horn here, which is actually acting like a car horn, so you can actually, like, do a little or whatever the fuck it sounds like. And then we got a nice little hologram here, too. Beyond that, we have these standard paints that have been with us for, I want to say years now. And then stickers that have also been with us for, well, years now. You can also go ahead and take a look at what's coming up when it comes to fusions in the next few days if you want to go ahead and try to, you know, take some of these items, wait for the event to come around and sell it back for a little bit of extra monies there, but go ahead and take a gander. Very fancy stuff here. But honestly, when it comes to the items that actually would crash in this event, it's really hard to say because none of these items are particularly good. They're a little bit interesting and they're fun to play with, but none are just like, wow, these are fantastic. Well, the power unit is great if you're like one of those people that loves utilizing energy weapons. Those are fantastic. The Toadfish, it's a niche weapon, but it's not terribly great. The Aurathorn and Argus is great for like mines. Corvo is great too for stripping potential if you're a great shot. But the issue is that I'm not sure if Corvo is really better than utilizing something like a machine gun. Really, Corvo is only great if you're on like a hover and you have excellent aim. Then that way you can actually potentially use it more than something like a machine gun. The Spike's a Spike, which honestly I haven't seen that become meta and good for ages. It used to be worth like over $1,200 a piece. You can see now it's back down to like the 500 range because it's been nerfed so heavily. It used to be so good at doing a lot of damage and flipping over cars, and that's not been the case for ages. Medium's doing alright here. The main benefit is this, that you don't have to carry around a lot of ammunition with you, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage either. Leech is just a shotgun. There's not really much to say about that. There's nothing really special about it. It's just a shotgun. And the Emily is just a nice revolver here, which is pretty decent. It used to be really powerful early on. I'm not sure if that's actually the case anymore, but a lot of people have this too from, I think, other events as well, so most people really have that fully stacked out, but just kind of my thoughts about this event. Nothing really terribly jazzy. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a thematic event to go with this whole thing, as opposed to just like a series of already made brawls put back into rotation in a very quick rotation for a little bit. So it's like, I suppose that's an event. Beyond that, we also have ourselves a nice, lovely car here that you guys actually did accurately predict last time. It definitely is a pack first and foremost. And it actually did come with a new garage, that like little teaser image we saw. That's definitely what this is about here. So what do we actually get here for the Eater of Souls Deluxe Edition? We get the unique garage, Copperhead Stadium, which does look pretty badass if I do say so myself. The Eater of Souls car, the epic crossbow Varun, the frontal wheels Sabbath, 4 of them. The character portrait of Alba here, if you want to go ahead and take a look at all of her flavor text. We also got the background logo here as well, the decor of the Raven's Eye, the hologram projector Soaring Soul, stickers, paint, and they increase the number of parts up to 55. So if you take a look at the parts here, we do have quite a few interesting things. We do have a nice midnight paint here, which looks very covert, I guess. It's not too bad. Very subtle, although to be fair, it's really hard to tell the difference between a lot of these paints because I feel like they're all matte of a very monotone color. It's like, okay. We also get a chameleon, a couple of boosters, a radar engine, and we also get ourselves a ritual feather sticker here. Not too bad. And we get ourselves the Raven Eye headlights, which look, it's not too bad. Does look pretty jazzy. Almost for some reason it gives me like Borderlands vibes for some reason. And then we also get the hologram projector here, fancy looking wings, the Soaring Soul. For some reason it reminds me of like an Instagram post or whatever reason, or live, laugh, love signs. But then we actually got the epic wheels here. So let's take a look here. Armor car takes damage. The Sabbath wheels increase their vehicle's power and a maximum speed by 15% and 3% respectively for 2 seconds. The bonus is not affected by the amount of such wheels, but decreases proportionally if there are other movement parts mounted. It's up 5 times a delay of 3 seconds. So interesting. It's one of those wheels where the more you get damage, the more power and speed you get, meaning the faster acceleration and the more top speed you have overall. Which is an interesting little concept here. Especially considering that these wheels have decent durability and pretty low mass. And the tonnage on them is not too bad either. So these wheels are actually going to be, I want to say one of the better wheels in the game, but considering that the other epic wheels in this game don't nearly have as universally applicable of a pattern here, I can see this actually being very, very useful for a lot of people. I'd imagine these things are going to be ultra expensive. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Selling for 402 initially, and then dang, son. Yeah, people are clamoring to get that too. Nice. I can see why they would want that. But then now we have the Varun crossbow. So for a short time after charging, a shot from the Varun deals 20% more damage Also having its projectile speed increased by 35% and the impulse by 50%, the rate of fire is maintained, the bonus stacks up to 3 times. Interesting. So does the impulse increase 150% and deals 60% more damage? And goes 100% faster? Interesting. Interesting. At least you get decent ammunition too. So I'm actually kind of interested to try that out. As for the cabin, we just get the regular aggressor cabin. So nothing too jazzy here. Kind of a very interesting one though, because it encourages you to drive straight. And then beyond that, we get the bird spirit here and the soot paint. Wow, look at that. So jazzy. Oh, they do kind of like that blue coloration in the shadows there. Kind of nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and take ourselves a nice look at this beautiful Copperhead Stadium. Although, wow, this is super, super colorful here. This actually kind of reminds me more of, like, I don't know how to say, what is that, like, Caligari character? Because this character was supposed to be, like, I don't want to say poised as a Firestarter character, but it had definitely very Firestarter aesthetics. And then you come to the garage and it's just, like, a clown car. Okay, okay. Beyond that, we also got ourselves a nice amount of boosters here, and definitely correct on that stadium idea. Oh yeah, look at that. So much fire, so beautiful. So cool. But alright, it's actually not too bad of a garage, and it's decently big too. You can actually come outside of the stadium here and get to a little bit more of a riverside front from what I believe. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Although, very flat river texture. Honestly kind of reminds me of Gary's mod in a way. I actually wonder, are you allowed to drive off it? Yeah, you are, but you basically just immediately die. It's not even like Halo where you just die if you get too deep into the water. No, as soon as you drive off the cliff edge, immediately death. But hey, look at that too. You get nice day pattern changes too. So it does look very jazzy here. Ah, nice. Although I actually kind of want to see the power change when you actually get into a fight. So is there like a section over here where you can actually go ahead and get yourself beat up? I'm assuming it's over here in like the highlighted map section. But here we go. Found ourselves the battle bots. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel an increase in acceleration. Which can or not be a good thing at the same time. Just kind of depends. Because the issue is that too much power and acceleration also does make your car incredibly difficult to drive. Like if you're flying across the map at 200 miles an hour, you can't really expect a turn. But alright, not too bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at the damage of this crossbow. Fully charged. Wow, 90 damage. Alright. And we fully charged like so. And it doesn't really seem to do that much damage. Doing like 90 apiece. Interesting. Does that hologram only go off if you manage to kill somebody? Interesting. I will say though, the actual like accuracy and pinpoint nature of these crossbows is quite nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, would I ever utilize this weapon terribly frequently? It's hard to say. But you know what? Let's go ahead and give this thing a test in the Yeagle DPS tester now that this map actually comes with it. So it's like, cool, why not? Give it a try. Alright, I need you to get out of here. So we get 90. There you go. We got 1, got 2, got 3. So you get 144 damage in the end with a final shot. So not too bad of damage, but it also requires 3 consecutive shots here. So the DPS on this seems incredibly low. And it seems that maximum charge of this shot does around 90 damage. Okay, but if you don't let that depletion go all the way through, it looks like you do approximately a little bit more than 100 damage. So not too bad, although the fire rate on this is kind of something to be desired. You can sit here and shoot it a lot, but honestly, when it comes to the fire mechanism of this, it's one of those fire mechanisms that can easily be messed up if you're in the middle of a heated combat scenario. Because not only does it require you to press left trigger to charge it, and then to release it, then to actually fire the shot, you have to do that consistently and at a decent pace to actually make this thing effective. So I think in that sense alone, not only is this going to make it like a super fucking huge SSRI, like repetitive strain injury, when it comes to something like this, but it's also just going to be a huge pain in the butt to actually utilize properly in combat. But these things only cost around 7 power apiece, so theoretically you could have 2 on your car, and that can make it at least somewhat damaging, but at that point you're dealing with, you know, an epic tier cabin and a pretty big generator just to get 2 of these on the car. So pretty much like all other crossbows, I doubt this thing is going to be terribly impactful, but it does have a nice fun shooting mechanic here that if you don't mind the kind of like repetitive and almost tedious way to fire it, it's not that bad. As for the whole pack itself, the garage is really beautiful. I do like driving around in it. Is it worth like $60? I really couldn't say for certain. That's more or less like how much do you guys value the aesthetics of this with like the kind of like fake pseudo advertisements everywhere and interesting aesthetics with a lot of not want to say unique features to it, but if you weren't part of the amusement park update, you don't have a lot of these features. So in that way, it could be beneficial to y'all. And then you even have like a skills test arena. I mean, it's pretty big for anyone here who doesn't have this. And it's very high quality too. So I would say the pack is mainly worth it for the garage if you are a very big fan of the garages and you don't have a lot of the already existing items. If you do, then not really too much to worry about here. As for the actual like car design itself and the weapons, they're not too bad here. The main benefit is going to be those wheels for certain, the Varun crossbow, and the rest of the items are not terribly impactful either. But for those who are only really interested in the quote-unquote like basic version of this pack, there is a light version that is basically just the crossbow and the Sabbath wheels, and this thing is only $15, so it gives you the core of what's actually good with this pack and really nothing else. So in that regard, you could just go for that. If you want the more quote-unquote up-to-date version, you can go for the $30 pack, but I wouldn't recommend it because the weapons in there, not terribly impactful. Light version, not too bad. That is unless they nerf the... the ye old packs themselves, or the weapons themselves afterwards. So there is also a risk of that too, but I can't imagine it being terribly necessary to nerf it. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be everything when it comes to the brand new kind of season update here. What do you guys think about it? Is it pretty good? Let me know down your thoughts down below. On that, guys, I want to thank you all for joining this evening. If you had fun, follow whatever platform is your favorite. We're on that YouTube, we're on that Twitch, we're on that Twitter, and we're on that Discord. Follow whatever is your favorite. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.